The Wild West is full of stories about gunslingers, train robbers, and legends. But there's one tale that surpasses all others in sheer bizarreness. This is the story of Elmer McCurdy, the man who became more famous after his death than during his life. Stay tuned for an incredible journey through history, from his tragic childhood to his absurd role as a sideshow attraction. Elmer McCurdy was born on January 1st, 1880, in Washington, Maine. His birth was surrounded by scandal. His mother, Sadie McCurdy, was unmarried when she had him, a major taboo at the time. To shield him from stigma, his grandparents raised him as their own, and Sadie pretended to be his sister. Elmer grew up in poverty and lost his father, actually his grandfather, at a young age. Learning the truth about his parentage was a devastating blow, leading him into rebellion. This marked the beginning of a life filled with instability, odd jobs, and eventually alcoholism. Heavy drinking wasn't uncommon in those days, but for Elmer, it became a way to escape his troubles. At 27, Elmer decided to turn his life around by joining the U.S. Army. There, he learned how to handle explosives, a skill that would become both his pride and his downfall. After leaving the military, he struggled to find steady work and began using his newfound expertise for criminal purposes. His first major crime involved blowing up a safe. Unfortunately for Elmer, it was a total failure. He used too much dynamite, destroying both the safe and its contents. This pattern of failures would define his entire criminal career. Elmer joined a group of outlaws who targeted trains and banks. In 1911, they attempted to rob a train they believed was carrying a fortune in silver. But once again, things went awry. They used explosives to open a safe, only to find it contained a few bottles of cheap whiskey. After this debacle, Elmer went into hiding in a barn in Oklahoma. But the authorities were hot on his trail. On October 7th, 1911, he was cornered. Following a brief shootout, Elmer was killed. His last words? "I won't give up." After his death, Elmer's body was embalmed by an undertaker in Pawhuska, Oklahoma. But no one came to claim him. To recoup the cost of the embalming, the undertaker began charging visitors to see the body. Thus began Elmer McCurdy's afterlife. His body was sold to a carnival and toured the United States. He was billed as the man who wouldn't die, and his popularity grew steadily. For more than 60 years, Elmer remained an attraction. He traveled with circuses and eventually ended up in a haunted house in California. By then, his body had become so hardened from embalming fluid that people assumed it was a mannequin. In 1976, during the filming of the TV series The $6 Million Man, a crew member discovered that this prop was actually a real human body. Forensic investigators eventually identified it as Elmer McCurdy. Elmer was finally given a proper burial in Guthrie, Oklahoma. To ensure he wouldn't become an attraction again, his grave was covered with 2 feet of concrete. Even today, Elmer remains a fascinating symbol of the Wild West. His story serves as a reminder of how thin the line is between tragedy and legend. Elmer McCurdy's story offers a unique glimpse into early 20th century America. The Wild West wasn't just a place of heroes and villains. It was also a land of economic struggles, social stigmas, and the rise of mass entertainment. His bizarre afterlife also raises ethical questions. How should we treat remains from the past? And where do we draw the line between history and spectacle? Elmer McCurdy wasn't a great outlaw or a legendary criminal, but his story is one of the most bizarre tales from the Wild West. From failed robberies to his life as a sideshow attraction, Elmer reminds us that even in death, the unexpected can happen. What do you think of this story? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories from history.